job, boys. Good job.
Hey Mick. Hey Greg, Gunnar, David, Marco, Ocky Man, I forgot what your name is. Okay, we'll see if I can sort out to make sure that it sounds good. Yeah, Mick, I've got to make a new one. I've been staying at Richmond the last few nights, so I haven't had access to my PC to make a new intro.
How's the garage, boys? Nice and cozy?
So we got Tristan.
Yeah, it's nice and hot.
And Speedy racing together because Tristan's in Melbourne for the week. Yeah, Mick.
It's actually quite nice to
I don't think we'll get stereo sound because Speedy and Tristan are on Discord together.
Ain't no skipping. No skimping because you're next to each other.
I know, right?
I'm just trying to work out that Discord audio. Hey Carl, this is kind of a no stress stream because there's a lot of crap going around the world at the moment, so this is just a luxury.
You just have to be careful not to look at Speedy's screen and go online.
We're in third place and we can't really make it up to third place unless New Zealand Bro have an absolute shocker, and we can't really lose our position unless we have a shocker. We haven't got Josh tonight because he can't get internet either at home or using his phone. So I think the internet in Tasmania has gone down for some reason. Could be the terrible weather we're having. Simon?
Just have fun out there, boys.
Yeah, exactly. With what's going on in the world, just enjoy this.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Mick. No burritos tonight. Oh, it's absolutely, it's terrible in the like where my sister lives in Lismore.
Just make sure you're
My dad lives.
warmed up as you can.
It's record flooding.
That first sprint comes pretty quick.
Some of the rain gauges are actually underwater, so they're not working. That's how bad the flooding is. So it's going to be a lot of cleaning up to do in that area. Luckily in Melbourne we're away from it, but my sister's place is dry, my dad's place is dry, but my sister's got an investment property that she rents out which was flooded in 2007.
So just to clarify, which it's the orange banner we're sprinting for, isn't it? Not the green sprint banner.
Green sprint banner.
So I think the house is on stilts because it's in a floodplain, but they had a 15-metre, possibly bigger flood event from the river, which is ridiculously large. Even your house is on stilts and it's 2 stories, it's not going to be safe.
So it says Tom Salise sprint reverse.
Yep. So that's your sprint banner, not your finish line.
Yeah, exactly, Marco, 15 metres. And I was also, I think it was unexpected.
So
they knew it was going to
for
be
the green,
flooding,
it
but
calls it on Stick
came faster than
Insider,
expected.
letter sprint reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I've forgotten what the amount of water they had in
Okay.
15 hours. It was
Should
up on
be
the
cool,
back
sure.
pedal chat.
Lutus is the course, not the.
But the amount of rain they had in 15 hours is just ridiculous.
Okay. So it still should be the green one, you reckon?
Definitely the one.
Yeah, 15 metres vertical.
Cool. Cool, thank you.
Obviously, it depends where the pinch
Maybe
points
we just
are.
see how it
Lismore's in a little
plays
bit of a
out, see
valley.
what ZWC is doing. They want
It's still pretty flat where it is, but there's just so much rain. I don't want to say how much it was at 15 hours
Probably not such
because
a bad idea.
I'll be wrong, but
Line it out for the climb.
on the gallery chat. I think it was Steve
Yeah,
who
I
lives in
climb after a few
Moreland
laps.
Bar. He was posting pictures,
Yeah.
and I put how much rain there was.
The pace is on, they'll shed people that time.
Right,
Yeah.
1 minute 14 to go.
Shed some of the riders though. And
Pause that one is my
Maybe
warm up.
not.
Start a new one for my race.
Yeah.
see how lined out it's getting through the sprint. I'm gonna say fairly. Maybe on lap 4 or something, try and bust it open. Sitting up a bit. You
And
can.
remember, fastest through sector will likely come on the second lap when we've got power ups.
Yep. You can tear up a track for after the spot for a little bit. But just be wary of not getting dropped off the back while you're aero ducking. I wasn't going to flip anymore.
Rightio. We lost Josh, so our tactics are basically just follow the moves. I'll see how I feel. Here we go. Sideways. Drifting. Take a screenshot while I'm in front. Thought I was going to go left there for a second. Alright, back to the... My guy's weaving everywhere. There won't be many riders in this race because of what happened in Australia and last round. A lot of Australians won't be in the race.
It's very much about how quickly you come around that top corner at.
So there's only 45 signed up.
I did.
We'll turn that.
Sprinter Palooza last Friday on the course. And if you weren't coming from the back going flat out, it cost you about a second to sprint. Yeah.
Nah, it's usually at least 55, 60. At least to start off with. Could be less, but 45 is definitely the lowest. It's been people on the east coast, New South Wales and Queensland probably got better things to do at the moment than race on Zwift.
Lots of power-ups in this course. One at the sprint, one at the finishing line. Don't be afraid to use them once you go through the sprint arch. If you need to get back on or have a bit of a rest.
I'm going to try and stop changing gears so much because the trainer's always up and down, and then it comes back again. So I'm just used to changing.
Yeah.
Good cover. Okay, so
Don't waste too much. The group is going to come very fast.
I think third.
Well, boys. I think it's going to be better, Ben. Steamroller or the AERO for a sprint?
AERO, I think, but steamroller is pretty useful if you're in the draft.
Yeah. I'm coming from the back, so I might actually steamroll it in the sprint, see how we go.
Yeah.
So I came from the back then, boys. Hit the front, through the sprint arch, so through the sprint line. A couple of boys hot on my heels and have a bit more power than me, but I've got no sprint at the moment. I can still place if you come from the back with speed.
I got the AERO, which is good.
Cool.
I got the AERO, but I'm absolutely cooking.
And overdo yourself. You have to stay in the pack, mate.
Yeah.
I think we got 3rd and 4th, I think, on that sprint.
Yep.
Let's go.
Alright, so sugar time.
It's already thinned out a fair amount. So don't get too far back in that sprint.
Yeah, 36 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I come from the back, I'm going to see the front.
Hey, Jason.
Sit on my way, mate. Tell you through the pack. I'm not ripping through the pack. I don't start ripping until we hit the left-hander. I'm just using
You
it.
got green.
Just
You
using
got green
everyone-
hat?
Yeah, I'm just using everyone else's draft to pull me to the front from the back. And then when I get near the front, I start banging.
Yeah, let's see.
How's the sound, guys? Anything annoying? Besides my gear changing noises? I put the microphone too close to it again. Maybe that'll help. See if I can super tuck here. No. Alright.
For people doing what we're thinking of doing out of this time.
Yeah, I was thinking about it with Josh, but Josh's not here, so we'll see how we go on the 3rd lap, 4th lap.
Didn't make it in. He was coming.
I think I saw Josh.
Yeah, he's here. That's not a flight past
Hey.
me before.
Awesome. He's just tricking me, isn't he?
Yeah. Tasmania came into the 21st century again.
Hooked up the string between the trees.
Oh man, 7 of those. And then a finish. Fuck hell.
Is it cobbles all the way around here?
Yeah.
Yep. Danger mouse. Yeah. Probably just after here though, Mick, because it's downhill. The pack builds a little bit of speed just here. As you go past the pens, I reckon. See, minus 2% for at least
There's 2 from
good 10 seconds.
AERO team left, I think. Normal AERO team. So just don't be fooled, maybe 3. If you've got a couple of arrows in front of you, they might not be yours. They'll try and beat them.
Let's see, David. Let's see. So I reckon you go down this hill and then you can do an
I
attack.
think somebody was saying Nash hasn't come, isn't racing.
Who's that? Nash, yeah, I haven't seen his name pop up.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be a few riders that don't bother turning up now that the division's pretty much set.
Yeah. Not if we can take first place, it's not. Still jump them in the second.
So I reckon if we do an attack, if we're feeling good on the 3rd, 4th or 5th lap, just after this bit starts going uphill as the pack slows,
Yeah.
if we don't kick out of the tunnel.
Yep.
We'll kick out of the tunnel, get caught and then go again here.
Oh, yes. Double.
Greg Morgan's saying Nash is with another team today. Good someone's using the feather right now.
Very cruisy at the moment.
There we go, there's attack off the front.
Yeah.
Got that covered.
Okay, gotta go get the tablet.
Fastest through sector, so I don't want to go to the front.
That was just one close. Are we too loud?
Let him go, we've got fastest through sector coming through here. Concentrate on that. Right, unclipped. Get back in here. Unclipped. Bloody hell, I'm unclipped and I still got second.
Steamroller isn't good. It's not bad, but it's not very quick.
I'm burning my steamroller for that information, Jay.
Yeah, I was making no ground at all.
I was not pedaling for a few seconds because I bloody unclipped.
Too much power.
Maybe I'll go for a fastest through sector next time. Because then you get multiple entries.
Yep. Keep on banging them.
Nah, it's a lot different to the London one.
The problem with the attack up the hill is exactly what just happened then. They come through so fast through the sprint that they just eat you up.
Yeah, once you get to the downhill, you're not going to stay away.
No.
It might work if we're down to 20, but too
Yeah.
many riders at the moment.
Yeah.
So early on the hill.
What's up under my sound headphones? Yeah, AERO. Exactly, Mick. Especially if people attack again early. I don't know what I got over the line. What did position over the line? Ideally, I want to get some over the line points too.
I think there's a lot more Ukrainian flags than normal out here.
Yeah.
I wasn't really watching the screen. Would I hit the front if I kept on going? Okay. This time with my right foot that I'm clipped. This is my left. I tighten the left down. Make a note to tighten the right down now. If I had an Allen key, I could probably do it on this downhill. So this hill's nowhere near as hard as in London, going up that hill to the roundabout. Well,
Very
I don't-
casual.
It's very casual.
Probably the most casual I've ever been. It's ever been in Div1.
I think it's because it's so easy in the pack to just coast around.
Yeah, I think people have set the sights on attacking up the hill, so
Yeah.
recovering till then.
You wonder if it's worth going as a job on the flat. But,
Who's off the front now? Is it next gen?
Yeah, okay.
The pack will roll pretty fast just now because we're going down the hill a little bit. There you go, another downhill. He's not getting away. We'll see if people learn, Mick. This one might be much slower to the sprint.
absolutely cooking.
Yeah, it's warm. Good boy.
What did I get then? 12,
Maybe point.
13:33 is 10.
Point 30 seconds.
Oh, I've got a
So we gotta pick up.
13:19. Might have got another faster shoe sector.
Do the exact same again. I've got another arrow. You get another arrow. Sit on my wheel and I'll pull you through.
May have. Depends what everyone else does.
I think I may have got something.
Yeah, you did, mate.
There's a split happening.
Anyone in the back split?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're coming back. We're coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So AERO is definitely the key here. What you really, really need to, if you've got an arrow,
I think I attacked
for the sprint,
the one before that much faster
can coast in the wheels,
because the split.
and it slows down once we get off the climb through on the top. So even if you're a couple metres off the back, you have to get back on. And it picks up again once we
It's
start turning out of the.
it's very different, I think, Mick.
After trail.
It's a much shorter sprint. Much shorter.
For some reason, a lot of them are trying to go from the front.
People don't seem to. They sprint late, maybe because of the downhill. I have to look back, but I reckon I had 4 or 5 more kilometres an hour on that fastest shoe segment sprint that I got entering the sprint, just because people were trying to chase down at the front, not because I was
I'll
sprinting.
probably just try and hang in this one. It's not clever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just use
Mick,
it up the hill to make the.
we'll just, I think, wait
Yeah.
another lap. Let fatigue accumulate first.
AERO in roll. You get points in the sprint. Make sure you're in the sprint so you don't get caught in the split.
Yeah.
I was thinking about leading out the sprint with my steamroller, but the reality is I don't want people getting a fastest through sector.
Boys, so keep on going.
I want the sprint to be slow every lap to get my fastest through sector there. Yeah, Mick, but it's the whole blob's just dead, so we'll let another couple of sprints get in their legs first. Attack when it's hard. Because we're also getting good points in the sprint anyway. I think helping us chase down those New Zealand Bro and AERO next gen riders. It's very different to that, Mick, because that one you sprinted to just try and get to the sprint, and then you had to sprint after the sprint to stay in. least you got a little bit of benefit. But once you hit the sprint, you can stop. It's just a bigger version of that knobhead crit race that we've been doing on Saturdays. Beach hits.
Yeah, now for Ben.
I got a steamroller. Got dust in my throat from all the fans going. It's really humid here in Melbourne. Poor old Tristan and Paul Speed in the shed with fans going together. See how blobbed up it is. People wait till it's hill and they'll
I think
attack.
Weekly took a lap out.
Is that listen?
Weekly from NZBro.
Yeah.
For Blakely. Pretty
Yeah.
sure he took a lap out.
Yeah.
I'll have a check of his distance.
Yeah, so 13.5.
Yeah.
It's unusual because he's strong. Must have had a dropout. Pretty certain you can't get fastest through sector once you take a lap out. This is bullshit.
I just hope. Look it up for us, Mick. I'm pretty certain you can't lap.
Is the pace still on at the front?
7.9. I don't know, Mick. Pretty certain it was discussed. How's everyone? Everyone in the front?
I'm out. I'm totally blown up.
Yeah, back in the front.
Head one round. Just make sure you're right on the front when it goes upwards. Gives you plenty of drift room.
Hey, you got each. Totally cool down and do some sprints at the end there with you. Just totally overheating.
Yeah, it's warm. Yeah.
You're not used to our Melbourne weather.
What do you got, Ben?
I got an AERO.
Right, I got a steamroller. If it doesn't do what it did last time, and I was just hanging off the green light at the back, and to make it to the front, just meet me to the back as we come around the top of the Arc of Triumph, and I'll tell you through the pack.
Cool. Now I gotta find him. What hat's he wearing? What hat you got on, Jay?
Green.
Oh yeah, spot ya. Wonder what the Zwift community chat we about with Bleakley and me. I said tell him to fuck off. Because you can see he got back on and immediately attacked. It's totally against the spirit of the rules.
What is the actual rule on taking it like that?
I think there's lots of discussion about it, but there's no hard and fast rules as far as I know.
No.
It's definitely against the spirit of rules. Like if you took a lap out of a sprint race, the crit race,
Yeah.
hit the front and split it, you wouldn't be welcome back.
No.
You see his comment at the moment?
About a
He's not
dropout.
super happy about this. Had a dropout, yeah.
Yeah, but lots of about dropouts. It sucks. But you don't hit the front.
Yeah.
That's Zwift racing. That's freaking
Yeah,
literal riding. You have dropouts. Suck it up.
race over.
Exactly.
Sean has definitely cake after this. I've been having cake this week. Had to up my weight because I think it's a flat race with a downhill. The weight's not going to make any difference on the sprint. Yeah, Simon, it's because you don't normally have this situation. I do remember last season someone asked about it on a course and WTRL said you can't. But WTRL always say things
So
and
much
then take
nicer
it
in
back.
2015 when
So,
everyone was nice to each other on this thing.
Yes, yeah.
Uh-oh. I just had to drop out. Hopefully I don't disappear. I'm back.
I haven't got any cake next to me though, Sean. I've got to head back to Richmond for my cake. I'll concentrate now.
Everyone burnt their legs last lap.
Look at me.
It's going to be pretty late, Ben, because it's so grouped.
Yep.
Probably easily just before we start to swim left. Yeah.
I think I got fifth. Fifth, I think, Jay.
So two other boys.
No, I'm thinking.
Okay, split forming. Anyone out the back?
Yeah, Speedy.
Let us know how it's going.
Yeah.
There's about four in the group with Speedy. It's touch and go, I reckon. NZBro, he was doing 6 watts.
I remember this is going to go slow very shortly.
Yeah, you're right, the best side, you might be back. Oh, right.
At least we lost one of theirs.
Yeah.
Hey, in the wheel, Speedy, Blackie's bringing it back.
Goddamn steamrollers.
Yeah, I got the feather.
Speedy, tell me to set it.
It's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Yeah. I think so. Hope so.
That's the teamwork on the bottom feather.
At least it burnt some of their legs getting back.
Yeah, back on. Speedy, though.
In 0 top end.
Little push, boys.
One of the AERO guys up the front.
Yeah, and they're chafing.
So I got another fastest resected there. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. I might try and bridge across with these guys up this kicker with my feather.
Yep.
The group's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I got no power up for this sprint.
Probably save it. Just coast through to the group. Save it for the last lap.
Yep.
You're going to need to stay on the power through the sprint. Just follow my front group, it's not going to slow down. Wait for an arrow.
Thanks, Marco. Shame at
Did you see
third.
you, Tristan?
Such a big gap to second.
33rd.
Can you see the people in front of you?
No, they're like a minute 40.
Are they?
So I think I'll be coming in 31st. If there's 2 left.
Yeah.
2 to 9. There's like a minute 30 to the group behind me.
At least
I just
Bleakley,
try and straight in front of them, just in case there's another dropout.
Yeah.
I can get 30th.
Yeah.
at least Bleakley didn't get a fastest through sector above me. Hopefully he'll get a top 10.
Oh, that's still mega high.
I can see it.
It's pushing off the front now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just had to accelerate then, because my speed was going backwards.
Yeah, I'm gone.
No worries, Speedy. I'll stay in the group. So a super tuck.
Come on, steamroller.
Come on.
Better. Bit worse.
God damn it, stuck it. A few watts. .28 watts was worse than none. Oh. I'll try again here. Maybe I'll try backpedaling. Come on, get rid of 24 watts. Oh, Jesus.
I'm Speedy. I got Ben on fan view if you want to watch the action. Ben, no pressure, but we got you on fan view.
Live around the world.
Yep. I'm just gonna look at my diamond for my power and watch you.
I better take a drink then.
That's the big thing.
Come on, AERO. Give me an arrow.
So 8 points at the sprint and the finish, I'm assuming?
Yep.
AERO.
Hurrah.
Feather.
Better.
All right, Jay, it's all on you.
Oh, you got one more chance at an arrow.
I need to get a AERO on the last banner. It's going to be real slow to this tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah. Those without a sprint might try and make it exciting.
Before the race, I'm like, yeah, that's a tack. During the race, fuck, I'm not tacking. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, it's not proving very fruitful. The tacks that go off.
How are you feeling, Ben and Jay?
Feel good. Good. Punching up the climbs into the sprints, getting fairly difficult.
Yeah.
If I can get an AERO, I'm pretty confident for the finish.
Yeah. I haven't got a sprint in the legs after all the long stuff I've been doing, but if I can catch a draft.
You invest in the sprint banner and I'll invest in the finish, Jay.
Yeah.
Last lap. Sweat dripping off my nose. See you guys along here. How's everyone in the chat? Having a good day? Nervous about their race tonight?
Just follow any of the attacks, Josh. So we've got a number on the in the front group that goes breaks up a bit.
There's an attack going now. Here we go, boys. Good luck, guys.
Last 2K, gents.
Steamroller.
Stay in the front.
I totally messed that up.
So,
2 foot back.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah, you had to be on the front.
I was anticipating someone going early. Followed the wheels and no one went.
NZBro's got that wrapped up.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I was trying to, David, but I was hoping someone would be in front of me. There was a lot of riders way out ahead of me. I didn't realise we were going to catch them so quick.
Second. ZWC for us.
I was trying to catch them with about 500 metres to go.
Eddie Randall's coming up here. Straight right. That was good.
I was trying to change gears up. I was in my easiest gear. I was in the big ring, big chain. No wonder I had no more gears.
Oh.
Oh man, I totally fluffed that. I really thought there'd be a few guys going early. So I tried to come through to the front and grab a couple of the wheels. And all of a sudden I was off the front with 700 metres to go.
Yeah. Amazing no one came from the back after the sprint.
Yeah, I sprinted way too early. I had nothing with 200 left.
Yeah, I had to go early with the feather. And it just ended up being a status quo.
Yeah, I was actually lucky to get anything because I was just going backwards after I got off the front.
Oh, well.
Good race, though, guys.
Can't complain about third in Div1.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we definitely, I mean, the first 2 rounds we sort of thought we were in for a chance, so it kind of feels like we went backwards, but I think third in Division 1 is a great result for us.
Yeah, well done.
Well, I think those early points we got were really crucial, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It gave us a big buffer to 4th place.
So what you're saying is since I've come back in the team, it's gone backwards.
No, it's definitely the courses. That ZWC team, we're kind of matching them almost. But
Yeah.
then once we got to the hill, so they're watts per kilo, plus the TTTs, we got smashed by them on the TTTs.
Yeah. Yes,
But-
they
Yeah, I
would
mean,
have- what?
with New Zealand Bro actually underperformed, I think, in the first few rounds.
Yeah, very much so. After they pushed the elite team last year.
Yeah, exactly. I was expecting them to be our big competition. I didn't really think about ZWC, but obviously they were in Premier Division. But I thought,
Yeah.
oh great, we're going to get smashed by New Zealand Bro, but
Yeah. No, they lost. Chong.
there you go. Gunner.
But he was back for one of the rounds, but then he was racing for another team in another round. Couldn't keep up with what he was doing.
Yeah, that's the thing about these divisions is everyone's so transient. You're not quite sure who you're racing against every week.
Yeah.
I think Mashed Potato got pulled into another team that was doing well.
Yep. Yeah, he was.
So we meeting up with Tristan tomorrow night. I'll definitely go into the city.
Yeah.
I'd love to, but the 4-hour drive.
That's right. We'll put you on a Zoom call.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be sitting at work.
Thanks, David.
I'll see you when you get back, Kristen.
I need to figure out how much trouble I'm in.
You can
Okay.
dial in and watch some surgery while you're having your dinner.
I'll order deliver.
Like,
Yeah.
I completely disassociated the fact that it was my daughter's birthday tonight on a Tuesday.
Oh. Happy birthday, here's Tristan. You have to put a wig on her nose now.
Oh, no, my wife didn't realise either. And she was working till 6 o'clock.
Thanks, David.
Oh,
I stuffed up
she's
that
only
finish though.
no.
One next, yeah.
I really thought someone would go early, so I was just like anticipating an
Yeah, she was
attack.
like, this isn't a good Christmas present.
Except I was the attack.
It's not even that fun.
You didn't
Yeah,
even
it
win.
almost wasn't it?
Thanks,
It
Greg.
almost wasn't a birthday. One day short of the 29th of Feb.
What'd you say? Did you say your birthday's on the 29th for the leap year?
No, it's the first
Ah,
one
okay.
day short.
Leap year birthdays. They would be the worst.
I thought it'd be quite cool.
Do you do it on the 28th or do you do it on the 1st?
I'll do it on both.
Yeah, yeah, double day.
Oh, how'd your team go,
I'd,
Greg? You're
I'd
racing
fall back to
Atlantic,
the
aren't you?
James Day.
Coming up. Thanks, Carl.
Anything as Wales.
I think Greg's team's going to be in playoffs. Good luck, Greg. I'm not sure
So
if
for the next few weeks, boys, with no...
you're up against ZWC, BL13.
I'm going to
Well-
play some more facts.
I'm going to go. There's a FRR, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Plus, also, I'm going out to the Warrnambool, not Warrnambool, Warburton race, the Giro dell'Odona.
Yep, yep.
Cruise around that, and then back to ZRL again, isn't it?
Yeah, comes around pretty quickly.
It's only
How
6
far away
rounds
is
this
it?
time.
Oh, go on. Go on.
Thanks, Marco.
Probably just try and get a threshold blockage or something.
Yeah, I'm actually on a rest week at the moment because I've done more training than I ever have for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh no.
When's your next big ride, Jay?
First week, the same week as your Giro del Donna. I've got Murray to mine. I ride from Chuka down to Port Fairy over 2 days. It's a relay type thing with the team. I did
Thanks, Marco.
386 Ks last year, so try and break 400 this year.
So, what's the deal? Do you ride like 100 Ks, tag off to the next person?
Yeah, so the team rides in 3 groups, A, B and C, depending on ability. And the idea is you spend an hour out there and then you jump on the bus and the next team goes. But I do multiple stints, one after another, riding with each group. Just because I've got no interest in sitting on a bus for 2 hours. And I'm there
Australia
to...
effect.
Yeah. So, yeah, just go. I'll do the first 4 hours, and then have an hour off, and then get out there and probably do maybe another 4 hour stint, or maybe just a 3 hour stint before getting off again, and so on and so forth. There'll be a couple of us to do that, but you just do the same speed as the group that you're with. So the C graders, I'll just ride at their pace, cruising along with them, and then with about 5 Ks to go till they're done, I'll jump off the front so we get a bit of time for the next group to get on the road, and I'll run them down and go with them, and then work my way back into the A grade group and so on and so forth. That's sort of good fun. It's the closest thing to being a pro. I literally step off the bike, hand it to someone, go sit on the bus, someone brings me food, they put my bike away, they get my bike out, and off I go again.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it is. It's good fun. And it's good fun.
I'm gonna come and do the tour of Mansfield in 3 weeks or so.
Yep. Yes, that was my...
Go. I was gonna say, I think Speedy's gonna do it as well, so it might be the speeding hot goers reunion out in...
Yes, that is one of my favourite areas of the world. That's where I wanted to move to before I moved here, but Kelly didn't want to move up there, so I killed that. Yeah,
I really like it.
Yeah, I love Mansfield.
I like the TT as well.
Yeah.
It's better than the
Did you
the
go?
Flights TT. I didn't do last year. I've done most of the other years, the like 5 years before it.
Yeah. So they resurfaced the road 2 days before the event last year.
Oh yeah.
It was classic. There was so much gravel.
Wasn't that bad in the end?
And that downhill into the sharp right-hander, that was a doozy in gravel.
I got my turn.
Yeah, it's good though. Yeah, just the one on the Saturday afternoon, that's my favourite part of that race. Out to the bottom of Bulla and back again. Absolutely, you just fly along. Once you turn at Bulla, we're doing 60 Ks an hour.
Further old finish. Oh, on me though.
That was brutal though.
Yeah.
How did you guys go with the screens? You didn't get confused which one you're looking at?
Nah, I was the big screen. I got my little tablet. Right, we survived.
Although when I got dropped, I was watching this.
Sometimes I do exercises while I'm watching people live stream, and I kind of get carried away, and I think I'm going to do, like I see 400 watts, I'm like, how the hell am I doing 400 watts? I'm only doing, feels like 300.
I needed another like 6 screens to get.
Maybe an extra.
How did you guys find that race? It was very different to the London one, I think.
Yeah, it was. Not one. It was way more coasting than I thought there would be.
It seemed like that people were working themselves into the race. The first few laps up the hill were hard, but they were like, you kind of hit the front and had to slow down, and then it seemed to get faster and faster and faster every lap.
Yeah.
Except one in the middle where it was.
I think I was top 10 across the line the last 3 laps, and I was always dropped the first 3.
Yeah.
Well,
Everyone was starting to run out of legs in those last few laps. There wasn't a huge amount of people getting involved with the sprint in those last couple.
How'd you go in the last sprint, Jay?
4th, I think.
Yeah, maybe it was a bit more like what was the Watopia one? Was it this year or last season? Where we do the 2 bridges or something?
Yeah, last season.
That was similar to this one, I think. It started getting easier and easier to get to the sprint, but it was harder.
Yeah. Actually, with the little pinch climb in the one last year, blowing everyone up.
I must say it was fun to come out and, put a face to the avatar. And so then maybe I'll come out to yours next time. And
I was thinking,
do
yeah,
a
we.
cameo on
Yeah.
your YouTube or something.
Exactly. I was thinking we should all try and get into the same residence one time. See how many we can get in together, like you see on the World Champs.
Well, if you guys are ever in Canberra, I got a spare trainer, but you need to run a 54. I haven't got anything bigger.
I've got family in Canberra, so
Okay, maybe
I come quite often, but not quite often. I come once a year or so, so I'll definitely take you up on that offer. So we'll do some outdoor riding too.
Yeah, let us know if you're up.
Because it's you, Nathan, and is that someone else in Canberra? Definitely a few AERO guys.
Cam.
Cam, Joseph,
Let's not invite Jay when he comes back though.
Come on now.
there's Joe Byrne.
We can invite him, but he's got to stay on the front and not attack us.
That's it.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Yeah, I've been following Jay because obviously being from Canberra, I've gone up Mount Ainslie and things, and I see who the hell is that guy who's just smashing everyone in Australia.
I'll tell you what, Ben Hill came round to pick up some stuff from mine the other day. He is looking super skinny. Like, I swear he must be like in the low 60s or something. He's just absolutely skin and bone.
That's why he got 4th in the World Champs. I watched that. Like I've raced him on Zwift and thought, what the hell am I doing on the back of Ben Hill's wheel? Like, this guy's an absolute gun. Of course I get smashed by him. But then, watch him with the World Champs. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That last
He's
lap.
gonna have some time off now.
Yeah, definitely need a rest after that.
Well, they've been doing the summer season here and the ZRL Premier League season. So he's been doubling up.
And he would have been training for the Zwift Academy. Did he try and get into that as well?
He did,
I think so, yeah.
So that's a long season.
You might have to do some
Yeah, Jay, Corbin and Sam Hill, I reckon, are the unsung heroes of that race, though. Like,
Holding the gap within 20 seconds.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, Australia would when I saw the lineup, I was like, Australia's got a really good chance with Jay Vine and Ovett, Sam Hill, Ben Hill, but the way they raced that was just so much smarter than the other teams. All the rest of the teams just sat there like they were doing a one-off Zwift race, racing for themselves.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's never a plan from anyone else. The Dutchie just kept on attacking till he blew up, and hardly anyone else even did anything.
Osborne was mega though. Like, if he won that again back to back, that would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
He came so close.
Not with that freaking terrible hair.
I thought he was wearing a wig when I saw it.
That was horrendous. Someone needs to attack him.
It looked like he didn't change gears going up that like real steep pinch.
No, he
It was
didn't.
just like He was just like monstering it. But,
Yeah, but I think he did that the first championship. He just rides a really big cadence, or low cadence, big gear.
Yeah. And it didn't work when you got a...
He had an AERO too, which he used on the flatter bit, I think.
Yeah, he worked that perfectly. It looked like he had it. He was
Yeah.
a mile.
Yeah,
He had it.
Like a
Yeah.
but
train.
Jay probably had a feather, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Like I think Ovett, yeah, Ben Hill went off the front.
Ovett, yeah.
Yeah, Ben Hill went, and then Jay went. And I think Ovett would have had Jay's draft. So I think if Jay
Yeah.
didn't take Osborne, I think he might have got there over Ovett. But still, such a mega effort for those guys.
Yeah.
Watching it, I was thinking, no, where's Great Britain? They did nothing.
No.
Having the British coverage, and they had no one to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I'm going to have to go, I think, guys. But thank you. That's good. I think looks like we got a few sprint points off there, based on the Zwift power results. So.
Yeah, good work, guys.
Good work, boys. Sorry, I was
You got to sing happy birthday to make up for it now.
I hope you brought the cake.
Yeah, Simon.
Brought the chocolate milk. Nice one.
I had a dig at you, Great Britain, guys.
Let us know if you're doing any Swift races.
I'll get in touch with you if you guys want to do the FRR series. Just do 1 or 2 races, or 10 races if you want.
Yeah. Let us know, yeah.
Yeah, it's just something to tick us over for the next AERO.
Yeah. Try and put in a TTT at some point in the next few weeks on the Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm doing some TTTs early in the morning, but I'm happy to do one on a Thursday night too. I'm really enjoying the TTTs at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And good for you. All right, boys. Great season.
Cheers. Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys.
Catch you
Yeah.
later.
See ya. I'll get in touch with you, Tristan.
Oh, man,
I got the green jersey, guys, because I was riding around for longer than anyone else. Yeah, as an Australian watching that World Championships, at first I was thinking, this is pretty boring. They're just sitting in, no one's doing anything, and then I forgot which teams they were. I should really pay attention. Those teams animated the race, and then Australia put some riders on. Sam Hill, I always forget his name. The two names, Torboyne. Anyway, Sam Hill, Torboyne, just kept the pace going at the front, dragged the rest of the teams along, kept it so that Jay Vine, Freddie Ovett, Ben Hill had a chance. If the Australians didn't hit the front, I don't know what would have happened. Maybe other teams would have come forward. But the Australians are the only ones that took ownership of the race. So for them to win the championship was awesome. Deserved it. Obviously a few of the other teams had riders in the front group, so they didn't attack. But don't think there was an American, Great Britain. Was there any Belgians? Yeah. And the thing is, Sam Hill obviously is a mega engine. And he could have easily have been selfish and just gone, nah, I'm going to try and win the World Championship. I haven't been in the Zwift Academy. I actually got shafted in the Zwift Academy because a lot of people don't know, but they gave him a bike. In Australia, this is actually it's opposite because of the camera. But this side is the brake lever just for the rear brake lever, just like in UK. But they gave him a European bike. So when he was descending, he had the wrong brake levers. So of course, when he was descending, he was being super cautious. And then they used as an excuse that he couldn't ride a bike because they gave him the brakes on the wrong side. Now, okay, you might argue that he was a bit naive in not telling everyone that he wanted the brakes a certain way. Because apparently, what's his name? I should really remember this. Alex Bogner. He said that he wanted the brakes a certain way before he got there. But then they didn't explain that in the coverage. They could have said, Sam Hill has a bike that's not set up for him because the brakes are on the wrong side, rather than going, Sam Hill sucks at descending. So, yeah, he got shafted big time. Even if they weren't going to select him, they could have not said that he can't descend. Because now you've got idiots on the coverage saying that Sam Hill can't ride a bike, which is complete bullcrap. He might not be the best descender in the world, but he certainly got shafted. Anyway, so he went to the World Championships, worked, not maybe like he worked his guts off, rather than tried to go for the win himself. So that was definitely a great move from him. Apparently he and Jay Vine didn't see eye to eye a few years ago. I'm guessing it was, if they do, it's just a little thing, it's not a big thing, and people just make more of it than what it is. So he showed himself what a great team player he is. And he understands Zwift. He knows that you hit the front, and then when you get to the downhill, you roll back in the downhill and then hit the front again on the hills. Yeah, exactly, Simon. I mean, especially when he's racing, like he's up against the Alpecin Phoenix team. To expect him to keep up with an Alpecin Phoenix World Tour team on the descents with the brakes the wrong way around, they're nuts. It was just clearly one of those dramatic editing bullcrap things to make a story. That Sam Hill's super strong, but he can't ride a bike. So, if I was him, I'd be so pissed off. But obviously, he's a better man than me. What else was I going to have a rant about today? There was something else I was going to have a rant about. I don't have to worry about the changing your weight on the companion app. No, there probably is something. I actually like these courses where the fastest through sector isn't every single segment, because what ends up happening with the fastest through sector is you don't make a breakaway. This course is good, like London. If you attack and get off the front and get fastest at line, you're not missing out on fastest through sector, really. I'd be happy if they got rid of fastest through sector points completely for ZRL. Same with the FRR. Even though I benefit from it because it's a bit more of a game. If you play the game better, you can get a fastest through sector rather than just being a stronger rider or a good sprinter. But I prefer to see attacks off the front being rewarded. It's nothing more stupid than an attack off the front, 5 riders get away, they get the fastest through over line, but they don't get the fastest through sector, which is 20 points. So you're actually, well, you're disadvantaged. I need to cut my hair, don't I? Look at, how if I turn the fan off? I've got the other fan here. Oh. Change down my gear, even though I've only got it on, I think 20% trainer difficulty. See how slow I can go. I'm not doing Nick's 2 kilometers an hour. See if I can get 2 kilometers an hour for Nick. There we go. He's doing 300 watts. I have to watch that video of Nick's. I watched Bike Racing. Ah, that's the thing. It wasn't a rant. Bike Racing Without Mercy to put out a great video about FTP. And what it makes a great point about FTP not being an hour of power. FTP is a threshold. And Adam, has he done a PhD? Anyway, I'll say he's a doctor. Adam was saying that threshold isn't a zone. You're not riding at threshold. When you're at threshold, you're in between zones. So the problem with riding at threshold is you've got, okay, this is my threshold, below threshold power. This is my endurance. And this is my above, actually it shouldn't be, the blue's messing up with the green screen. So this is my threshold. When I'm riding below threshold, I'm using this cup. When I'm riding above threshold, I'm using this cup. But I've got, this cup gets used up much faster. So even if I'm riding just at threshold, every time I dig just above threshold by 10 watts, I take a sip from this cup. Problem is, this cup fills up really, really slowly when you're riding just below threshold. So if you keep taking sips out of this cup, even if you're riding just on threshold, eventually this cup becomes empty, even though you're riding at threshold. So if you're riding just below threshold, every time you dig in above threshold by that 10 watts, you're not taking a drink out of that cup. So then when it comes to those punchy efforts, you need to go over the hill, then you've got a full cup and you can do those punches. Whereas if you're constantly taking a sip out of this cup, when you get to those hills to do a punch, you choke on the water. You don't actually choke on the water, but I beautiful ice cream. You run out of water. So I don't know if that's explained very well, but that's how I understand threshold. People say I'm going to ride at my threshold for an hour, and I should be fine. But the thing is, you can't ride at your threshold. No human can ride at threshold. You can ride it below threshold, but if you ride at threshold, you're always going to dig into that little bit above threshold. And that cup's just going to become more and more empty. And if you can't keep that power even, you're going to drink through that cup in less than an hour very quickly. So that video, the bike racing without mercy, is a great video because people think that they can ride just below threshold and then positive or negatively split their 1 hour power. So they're finishing with more power than their threshold. It doesn't really work like that. It's a threshold, it's not a zone. But people have talked about threshold as a zone for so long that it's just become an accepted, misunderstood physiological effect. My FTP on Zwift, I think it's 350, let's see, 350. Which is, well, it depends on the day. I haven't ridden much this week. I had a good rest week. So when I upload this, it will tell me whether I've got a breakthrough. If you follow me on Strava, you can see Zwift will give me a breakthrough, near breakthrough. Near breakthrough means my signature's been dropped because Zwift thinks I did a maximum effort, but my signature's a little bit over. But then if it says silver or bronze or gold breakthrough, gold means you've got your sprint power, your anaerobic power, and also your aerobic power has all gone up, which is pretty rare. You have to have a pretty undervalued fitness signature for that to happen. So at the moment, I think my Zwift power is 350, maybe 349. Let's see. It's actually it says 339 because I've done a really easy week and I've got a big let's see, maybe one of my activities got a, no, I didn't get it, but Zwift has decay on. I've got a pretty big decay, so my FTP is always dropping unless I hit a new breakthrough, because I much rather have a lower FTP in my workouts than too high. So when I upload this, I'll do it now actually. Let's see what I get. And right, got my timeline photo I'd taken. Upload the wanky on the front at the beginning photo. That one. Where's my green? Rightio. Which one should I use for the... We'll use that one for the... Okay, so I'll upload that. And then let's see if I get a fitness update. I'll be very surprised if it's still 3:39. Let's see, here we go. 3:40. So I got a near breakthrough then. But that's the thing about, let's go back to riding. That's the thing about threshold. Last week it was 350. This week it's 340. I've had a rest week. And also that effort, maybe I didn't, like racing, you don't necessarily do your maximal effort for threshold. It's just racing, isn't it? So this week I expected to punch back up to 345, 350 maybe, if I do in the TTT. Let me share the race MPA. Let's get it up now. Let's see if I can... Oops. Properties. Okay, so that's up. I'll close main Zwift down. Oh, that's kind of weird, isn't it? How do I change that? Transform. Picture screen. Ah. Okay, let's try that again. Hopefully I don't mess everything up here. I'll lock that one down, yeah. There we go. There we go. Let me just put it below here so that... Okay. So there's my Zert. You can see every sprint my MPA being drawn down. And then in the final sprint, MPA touching. Now, if I wasn't racing, I could probably kept that sprint effort going for longer, and that would have upped my FTP up a little bit. But being 340 or 350 it makes a little bit of difference, but it's not a huge difference. If I want to know what my FTP was, what I go and do is I go and do a run instead, where you bring that MPA down. Let me go into the screen. So you bring that MPA down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. I'll show you the run instead workout. It's a great one for doing, getting your fitness signature dialed in. I can't even spell. Runnerstead. I'll just do Ron. Where is it? Okay, I'll go back to the normal screen. I'm normally searching in a different spot. Training, workouts, right stud. Here we go. So this is what you do with Runnerstead. Your details, workout designer. So this is the sort of workout you do to get your fitness signature. Obviously you don't run it in erg mode, you just run it in slope, and just try and bring that MPA all the way down by the time you get to here. And then you'll get a really good idea. Yeah, I like the background, Sean. So you can see in Zwift 350 seemed pretty reasonable with all that red. It's one of the reasons why I like Zwift, because it's constantly decaying your signature, if you like, which I like, because I'm not always doing. A lot of times I'll get breakthroughs, and then because I'm doing a lot of racing, but I don't want that fitness signature to always sit at my best ever fitness signature. I want it to come down, because I have days where I'm not feeling that good, weeks where I don't train as much, so my fitness signature goes down, and then if I do better, it'll go back up again. I don't like the Zwift. That's just stupid, where I could just set it 380, because I have hit I think it was like 378 or something. I think I must have had just peaked perfectly, because I was absolutely flying that week. But obviously I'm not going to be keeping 380 for very long, so it came down again. I'll show you my chart actually. I'll go into Zert. Progression, no planner, weekly stats. So this week I've had a rest week, because I've done my largest block of training since I've been training well, I did it before Christmas, basically I started building it. So this week, obviously it's only Tuesday, so don't ignore this week. Come on, Worlds. There we go. So, there we go. There's my hours. So this is this week. That was last week. So basically, last week and this week I've had a bit of an easy period at the end of this week. Or last week and then this week. So I did 15.5, 20. A lot of this was intensity too. And then in January I did a lot of hours. In December I did no intensity, I just did a lot of hours, just building up my training load again. So there you go, it's a lot of 15 hours, 17 hours. And I'll show you my progression. So for over 3 months is good, because actually, I'll do a bit more. Do the year and then I'll zoom in on the. So last October is when I started dropping down my training load again, and then I started building it up through December. So from December, middle of December I had a training load of 85, and then I hit 125 beginning of last, 2 weeks ago, in last week, and then I let it drop down again. I used to always sit around 100 to 110. That was my, there we go, 382 was my peak. That's the highest FTP I've had, or 381. So you can see here my threshold hasn't been going up because I've been training so hard. So I'm expecting that when I ease off, I should get a nice step up in power. Don't know if I hit 380, but I should get to 360, 370. Just got to let my body absorb that effort. Oh, you can't actually see it all, can you? That was annoying. Let me try it again. There we go. So I'll go back to it. So yeah, so I've been building up from here mid-December. All this was low intensity up through here, and then in January I brought the intensity back in with racing. That's why you get those really sharp peaks. So you can see even though my training load's gone up, my threshold power was dropping, just because of body's just struggling to cope with the amount of training I do. I couldn't really push the efforts, just overloading my body, which is what you want to do. You just don't want to push it too hard. So I expect now that I drop my intensity down, or training load down, I should get a nice bounce in FTP. Oops, wrong one again. How'd I get 2 zerts in there? Thanks, Sean. Like, I'm not an expert, I can be doing things better, but what I find is that if you up training load, you don't necessarily get faster until you let your body absorb that training load. But you can't, it's give and take, isn't it? You can't just do a little bit of training load and let it absorb, because you just never get anywhere. You got to progressively overload and then let your body absorb it. That's why they always bang on about rest weeks. Alright, I should go because I've got to get back to Richmond. Where are you, Sean? You probably live on one of those streets in the Yarra, or one of those buildings. If I get rid of Zwift. I like this background. It looks like I'm pedalling along the shores. I need to go and absorb that too. Williams Landing, that sounds really familiar. Don't think I've been there though. I could Google it, but that'd be cheating. Ah, Point Cook, yeah. I'm definitely going to be absorbing some more cake. I think I might have ridden through Port Cook, and my friends and I went riding out that way years ago. We got a bit lost. I live in Essendon. I don't mind Essendon. It's just like, it's a nice area to live in. It's just in terms of riding. Problem is, I'm too far from Yarra Boulevard to go and do Yarra Boulevard regularly as a training ride. My parents, well, my mum and her partner live in Richmond, so when I'm there I go to Yarra Boulevard. Yeah, I always see Nick Zane. Do you follow Nick Zane from Drop Cycling? I always see him riding out that way, doing his cafe rides. For those of my Great Britain not very good at World Championships racing. So in Melbourne, let's see if I can do it on the camera because it's opposite. So in Melbourne, I live, like, you've got the city and I live north. And let's see if I can get west right. Not my way. So you got Williamstown out west and then you got Geelong. Yeah, Mick. I stopped up the sprint, Mick. So we went through the sprint banner and I was well placed, and it was about 1 kilometre to go, and there was about 3 or 4 riders off the front, about 100 metres, well, it felt like 100 metres off the front. So I put a dig in, thinking, okay, if I put a sprint in now, I'm going to follow someone's wheel to the line, because if someone's going to go long for sure. So I put a sprint in, and with 700 metres to go, 700 metres to go, I fucked it. I'm still pissed off about it. I thought for sure someone would be doing what I'm doing, and I could just follow their wheel. Maybe I just put too much of a dig in. I was the fresh league someone. I felt good. That's what annoying. Like I don't know if I would have won. I felt good. I thought I'd saved my legs perfectly because I was that idiot that went too hard too early. Depends on who's your competition. If you're the strongest team, definitely. But you're gonna need, because you can see what happened. There's that little downhill before the pens, and then you got the downhill again at the pens. And there's a lot of speed build up as people come through the group to make sure they don't get dropped up the hill. And then once you're up the hill, the speed picks up again as people go to the sprint. And you're carrying so much speed through the sprint down the hill, doing like 80 or 70 kilometers an hour, I think I saw, which you can't do if you're by yourself. So maybe the best thing to do is keep the sprint, I don't know. It just didn't seem like a course that, like, yeah, attack up the hill, I still think, attack on the hill. But you've got to then make sure you get the points at the sprint battle. If you attack up the hill and don't really get away, you're just leading, like giving perfect wheels for someone to get faster through sector and also faster at line. It's a really, like I think we're missing a couple of sprinters from the opposition tonight, but it's a real sprinters course. I'll have to look at the points. Maybe New Zealand Bro grabbed a lot of points from their attacks, I don't know. It reminds me more of New York. Are you doing ZRL, Sean? Or are you smart enough not to do it, you just watch it? it's much better on the couch. Yeah, I don't know, Mick, it's hard to say. The problem is, everyone's hurting on that hill. So you have to be really strong. And then if you're that strong, like, do you need to attack? You can just sit on people's wheels. When you get to the sprint, just the sprint and take all the points. Sit in the wheels again. Yeah, so if you haven't got the sprint powers, so you can't drop them after the sprint. Like you could see, gotta stop saying like. You'll be able to build up your power. You're really light, aren't you, Sean? Yeah, the problem is because you can't drop riders on after the sprint. As you can see, people could super tuck. I tried to super tuck, but my body trainer was stuck on 24 watts for too long. 78. Oh, you definitely got to work on your sprint then, Sean. It's one of the things that we do, Sean. I don't think we're doing it. Well, I might be doing it this weekend. Is we do a B tit because I got a burrito team with David Raynham and a few of the other knobheads. Crick City on, I think it's 6:30 our time. There's a Crick City race. It wasn't on last weekend, so hopefully it's on this weekend. Where what we do is we go up the cobbles at Crick City we just sprint up the cobbles and then sit in for the rest of the course. And usually because we're all sprinting on the cobbles, everyone else is too fucked to agitate the rest of the race. So we just sit in, get to the cobbles and sprint again. And then on the last lap we try and win the race, but it's the whole point of it isn't to actually win the sprint or win the race. It's just to get I think it's at 8 laps, or is it 10? Anyway, it's just to get lots of sprints in, recover, sprint again to help with our punch. Yeah, I don't think that's the thing about this course, Mick. There's too much recovery after the banner. You hit the sprint banner and you're going so fast. But as long as you got a wheel, you'll be in the group. And you can see what happened. Speedy got dropped. And then they got back on because everyone sits up in the front. So you could probably try and drive it. But I think the only way to get away is on that first hill. But you've got to get away enough with enough riders that when you come down the hill, you either get the fastest at line or you get away. Obviously, you just get fastest at line and do it again next time up the hill, but that's a lot of effort to do every lap. There's so much draft still in the pack up that hill, especially with the momentum, because the hill's like that, isn't it? It's not just straight. It's got a little bump, another little bump, and every time when you come down those bumps, the people at the back get another 5 kilometers an hour or so. I wouldn't do it on lap 2. Just thinking. Are you talking about like you go through the fastest? I mean, you go through the sprint banner, you get your power up, and then that should be the fastest through sector. But if you don't have an AERO, then the next lap might be your fastest through sector. So the fastest through sectors are still worth going for. Having said that, I had plans to do some attacking, but other people were doing enough attacking. I didn't need to. No, you won't. You can't push the pace after the start finish. It doesn't work. You're going 60 kilometers an hour. You hit the front, and you get hit like you're carrying a barn door. It's like attacking on a descent in New York. You can't. You can give it a go, but the pack speed is so fast on that hill after everyone's sprinted that you hit the front and you have to be doing 7-8 watts per kilo just to stay on the front, let alone, I don't know what you have to do to get away from the front. You'd have to sprint again. Anyway, I should go because I've got to go to Richmond. You can't see my mouse. I should have put the mouse thing. But this is the Yarra River. So theoretically, if I'm pointing the right direction, I live in that direction, and tonight I got to go that direction. It's hard to see without 3D. But see how short my finger is? It's because I'm pointing forwards. If I could put my arm out further, so it disappears. That big, tall building, in between the big, tall building and the other big, tall building is where my place is, about 4 kilometres. Going straight on the way we're looking. And I've got to go to the right of the screen. I've got to go to the right of the screen and behind by about 3 kilometres? Something like that. Am I still riding the Zwift, or have I just... Oh, I'm still going. Get me back Open up, Zwift. So it doesn't look like I'm just sitting on the side of the river. Yeah. Yeah, I better do some work too, Simon. I'm just doing jump miles here. All grey. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, Mick, I don't know, well, everyone who's watching with their stream, tactically, it's... I actually like the race because it was easy hard. Hard enough that I didn't have to do anything in terms of agitate the race. It was better than London, I think. London, there was too much rest for the sprinters. It definitely got harder and harder every time up that hill. Whether people push the pace more or I was just getting more and more tired. So, good luck with all your races. Sean, good luck with your not racing, watching everyone else's streams. You're like me, you won't be able to see the streams. Yeah, definitely, Mick. Yeah, there's always a better sprinter, but you don't have to win the sprint, you just got to get points. And if you get an AERO, and they don't get an AERO, you can get a good sprint. That's why I like the power-ups. I'm going to spend another 10 minutes, aren't I, doing this trick. But the power-ups, people don't like them because it's a bit random, it's unfair. But the power-ups can mean that the best sprinter doesn't necessarily get the best sprint. A bit like outdoors. Cavendish doesn't always win when he was the best because sometimes he got boxed in. Having the AERO means you get the best wheel. Sure, sometimes in real life you've chosen the best wheel because you're bloody good. But other times it just happens to be lady luck that when you went one direction, it was the best direction to go when there was a 50-50 call. Yeah, Mick, it's the same as our team. We didn't really have anything to lose or gain. So it was a nice race to actually have without having any stress about how many points we got. Alright, I've got to go. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favour for that AERO. I'll make sure I mute the sounds before I go into my other one, otherwise it makes it. Can't even talk. Otherwise it messes it up. Good luck tonight, guys.